This is Peggy Ann Saltz. This is Business of Apps, and this is your opportunity to catch up with some of the companies. And I think maybe we'll catch up with the trend at Customer.io. I have here Byron Goodman, head of sales in EMEA. And when I say trend, it's because we're talking now all about cross-channel. You've been doing it, so I think it's almost like the industry caught up with you a little bit.
Hey everyone, so look, it's super exciting at the moment because we're going through such a transformation. Customer.io work with over 8,000 brands globally, and we recently submitted a report called the State of Messaging 2024. And what we discovered was marketers, believe it or not, 80% of marketers are being asked to do more with little to no budget increase. So what that really means is the CEOs are coming to the CMOs and saying, hey, how can you do more with less? And that's where we come in.
Byron, you can't just, and that's where we come in. No, what do you do? What do you tell them?
Well, look, what brands are struggling today with is data quality, but also using multiple channels of messaging, right? So if we start off with the multiple channels, what we're seeing is email is still driving a lot of revenue growth for organizations. But when you add in channels like SMS, in-app, the revenues can skyrocket. But if we go back to that budget challenge, CMOs I'm speaking with are saying, hey, I need to use multiple channels and multiple different systems, and I need to be paying the same, if not less, than I'm doing today. And Customer.io are one of the world's leading customer engagement platforms where we give marketers the power to say more to their customers at the right time across any channel. And when I say any channel, it's not just in-app, it's not just email, it's not just SMS. This is any channel. Marketing's about being creative. So if it's about getting in the car or getting in the game, that's exactly where we can help.
Because I'm also hearing a lot about AI-enabled and assisted and enhanced communications. Messaging is coming on really big. Mm-hmm. WhatsApp is a marketing channel.
Yeah.
So what's the interesting mix of the channels? It's great to say you have to be cross-platform. But again, to your point, the CEO is saying, I want to do more for less. So you can't necessarily do them all. What are the ones that are like the absolute non-negotiables?
Look, in the UK, I'm now getting bombarded with WhatsApp messages, and personally, I find that invasive. But you know what? My mum and my dad absolutely love it. And my wife responds to pretty much every SMS message she gets. Right, so what do you do as a marketer? Well, look, you have to rely on data. And that's where it's key, because if you know your customer, you know their wants and needs, you can hit them with the right channel at the right time. It's not about having a dominant channel. It's about understanding your customer base and being able to activate that data when they want it at the right time. And as I said, I hate getting bombarded with WhatsApp, but my mum and my dad absolutely love it. So why should we have a differentiated experience with a brand? What the brands need to be doing is saying, hey, Byron, you respond really well to email. And to my parents, you respond really well with WhatsApp. And to my wife, you respond really with SMS. And that's where Customer.io can really support marketeers, make sure they're driving their communications to their customers with the right message at the right time, but more importantly, on the right channel.
It's about orchestration. We know that. Because I was just thinking, I did a webinar recently, and it was very interesting that, for example, in MENA, it's almost like a status symbol to get marketing on WhatsApp. It's like I am someone and somebody really is addressing me as an individual. And getting to that individual point is the right time in their individual journey. So it's a lot of modeling goes into that. A lot of even prediction goes into that. I didn't read your report, I will. But about the messaging, was there some insights into what marketers need to be considering when they're choosing that moment, that frequency? It's that whole idea of, I won't name the app because I did an article about it, and I don't want to name and shame, but it was like, they send it out every day at 9, nonstop. That's it. That's how you start your day, which maybe works. Mm-hmm. Maybe works. So what are your thoughts or what are your observations about cadence, frequency, and adapting to our habits?
You know what? I wish I could say, if you send me a push notification every Thursday at 2 p.m., you're getting a conversion. It's just not going to happen. And I feel like such an industry person when I use these buzzwords like data, right? Because I'll say it's all about the data, but it truly is. If you can store that rich contextual data about your customers, and then be in a position to activate that data with a really powerful cross-channel tool, the complexity goes away. Actually, the data drives the decisions and the engagement. But you as a marketer just need to think of those creative campaigns that are going to drive your business forward. And look, what marketers came into the world to focus on data. They focus on creation. They focus on communication and connecting with those customers. So you've got to look at those best-in-class platforms that can first get your data in a place that you can then focus on the creation and the conversion with your campaigns. And so that's where we really can help, and we're supporting a lot of businesses today.
What's a really cool example or a case study, something where you're like, we might not know that you're the intel inside, that you're powering it, but if we knew the app, we'd say, oh, that's one that treats me really well.
There's one in particular that I really love, right? And I think in the marketing industry, we actually use a lot of technology. You know, everyone must have seen that report with the thousands and thousands of apps that are being used. And like, actually, how do those apps get the most use? How do they get that retention? And there's a brand called Notion who's absolutely scaling everywhere at the moment. And what they're doing is they're doing really, really amazing onboarding journeys, because one of the biggest gaps brands have is that when you first have that buying experience, you first have that conversion, you don't get the support you need. You don't get the communication you need. And we completely support Notion with their onboarding campaigns and retention strategies. And as a business, they're growing like hotcakes, you know, and so that's a brand I definitely like to talk about. But there is another one, if I could mention it.
Go ahead.
You know, despite my look and outfit, I'm actually a bit of a gamer need. I love my gaming, and Sega are one of our biggest customers. And what's so exciting about that is they moved from what I would call like a more legacy batch and blast email type tool. And for similar pricing, they were able to upgrade, get their data in the right place with us, and then be able to start powering cross-channel messages. Now, what does that mean? Of course, it means email. But where they're wanting to go is they want to start doing messages in the game and really being able to engage with those gamers in the moment. You know, and so that's an exciting future, certainly for Sega and many other brands.
And a very interesting trigger, because if you were worried about, you know, is this the right time? You'll see from my gameplay. You'll understand from my behavior. I get it totally. Yeah. Very cool. So you talk about marketers, and I'm betting also that the persona of your customers is also changing, that it's more like data scientist, marketer, plus CRM people, right? They're back in the picture. So who do you actually work with in the company now?
I'm seeing CMOs, chief of products, really taking the lead in terms of like that communication side of their product is actually part of the product. Yes. It's part of the product experience. And there's a very large car manufacturer that I've been working with, right? And, you know, one of the conversations we were having is actually the car is actually becoming a device. You know, you go into the car, you've got the screen there, it's got all your apps there, but actually, are you receiving communication on that? And the future is there. You know, these devices and these in-moment experiences within the product are genuinely where the future is heading. So when I'm speaking about with marketers, CMOs are looking to drive more with less, and that's what the CEO is demanding from them. And the CPOs, the chief product officers out there, are going, you know what? Communication is such a vital part of my retention and usage of my product. How can I embed these communication technologies to give a seamless experience within the car or whatever product you're driving?
And then, of course, it goes full circle. If you are looking at product, the communications will tell you, what improvements do I need to make? What do I need to do to the journey? It's all about architecting that journey from all the inputs. And if it goes back to benefit the product, well, that makes everyone even happier because they have no budget in the first place. And then you got a real win, great product and great communications. And a great time chatting with you as well, Byron. Thanks ever so much. Oh, no. And I'm going to check out the report you're on.
Yeah, State of Messaging 2024 is fantastic.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
and a glimpse
so
into the future thanks to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.